I bet you didn't know this, but you can actually request a professor in Korea to fund your whole graduate program. And I'm not talking about GKS this time, but this is a common scholarship that you should know, and I'm going to be telling you all about it in this video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Hope, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about one of the unpopular ways of coming to Korea and studying for free. So I have shared before about the Global Career Scholarship, the KGKS, which is the new Global Career Scholarship. But what if you are not eligible for any of these scholarships and still want to come and study in Korea for free? So that's where this comes in. I'll name it Professor Scholarship because you are getting funding or support from the professor. So this scholarship or this support that you get from professors is mostly in like the science and engineering fields. I think you've heard about people saying I'm working in a lab or things like that, or being connected to a lab. And this mostly means that the person is working there and getting paid for that. It's like you're studying, but also tied to the lab, and you do research activities there for which you get some money, you get some support for it. Though it can be different depending on your scholarship. Like if you're in GKS, sometimes you may not get extra funding from your professor, but let's just consider it for this specific kind of funding or support that I am talking about. Let's just discard any other scholarships that you may be part of and tie you to a lab, okay? So professors in Korea, especially those in the science and engineering fields, normally receive research projects from the government or like companies. Like companies pay them to do these projects and to do this research and get some kind of like results, right? In such cases, when the government or companies need research to be done, but they're not able to do it, they just need the results, they go on to seek for people who are going to do the work, and most probably that's going to be research students, right? So they give money to the professors, and then the professors are able to like recruit students who can carry out this research and get the required results and give them to the company or the government, stuff like that. So the professors themselves cannot do all the research, all the projects that are there, right? That's why they recruit students. That's you. So most times professors recruit students to their lab, and in that, when you join the lab, you are able to take part in these different projects that the professors have been able to secure funding from. The benefits of this can differ from like professor to professor. Some professors can offer you like full tuition and some stipend and health insurance, and that is really nice. However, some may just offer you tuition, some may offer you just stipend, and some may just be like, this is the amount of money that I'm giving you in a month. You just have to search yourself. So they can give you a big chunk of money a month, and you just have to pay your tuition yourself and also get your stipend from there. So every case can be different. And so when you are looking for like professors to contact and be part of their research lab, you need to put into consideration what their offers are. So let's talk about the benefits of this kind of support or this kind of funding that you're just getting directly from the professors. First of all, there is no age limit most times. As compared to like GKS or any other scholarship opportunities, you most times have to be within a specific age range. But most times if you're applying to a professor directly to their research lab, you don't have to worry about the age that much. And so if you've taken a break from studying and you've been working but want to go back into school for like your graduate degree, you are able to do that on this kind of funding. It's also good in a way that you can apply to different schools, because if you're applying, let's say, to GKS, GKS limits you to like 3 schools, right? can only apply to 3 schools, and for university track you can only apply for 1, right? So that's kind of limiting. But for this one, so let's say you have found different schools with labs that you may want to join, you are free to do that. And in case you get accepted, you are able to like choose which specific one is closest to your heart, and you can go on with that. They're also good in a way that most times you get to study in English, so you don't have to do the compulsory Korean language course that is normally for a year. So you may just have to take Korean language classes on the side if you want, but most times learning or knowing Korean is not mandatory. They are just employing you for your skills. Actually, yeah, that is what the scholarship or the funding is about. You are being recruited or you are being hired. So of course you will study and like for your degree and stuff, but you also have to do the research work. So you are doing 2 things. You're doing classes for your degree, and you are also doing the research that is, or the project work that is required from you, because that is what is funding you. Now let's talk about the things to consider when trying to find a professor or trying to find a school that you will apply to. So for this kind of scholarship, it is something that really requires research and time. Like you really need to put in your time to find the best information for yourself. So if you know of any school that you wanted to go to, first of all, you need to go to the school webpage and go through like the departments that are there. Most times when you go to the departments, you will see like the research labs that are available. When you go to the research labs that are available, you can then see like which professors are recruiting, things like that. Most times they have like separate pages, but they are linked on the university or department pages. With that, you are able to see the different research labs available at a specific university, and you can just make your notes from there on, like this. At this university, I would like to study this. At this university, I would like to join this lab, things like that. You make your notes for comparisons. When you visit the different research labs websites, you need to find out like the research they're doing. Is it something you are interested in? Because let's say you are interested in AI, artificial intelligence, you may not be interested in every specific thing in AI, should I say. Are you interested in object detection? Are you interested in generative AI? Or are you interested in like machine learning and deep learning and building models and stuff like that? So you need to know like what exactly would I want to do, and depending on the research that this lab is doing, like does this fit into my interests? Will I be able to contribute to that? After finding the research lab that interests you, you need to go to the lab website, and most times they show which research papers they have written. So you need to look through and see what they have published and get familiar with the lab interests, because sometimes in the description they may just give like an overview of what they do, but if you go into the research papers and read through like the titles and also go through like lab members and what their research is, you will be able to have a better picture of what the research lab actually does before you make your decision. Also, sometimes if you're interested in knowing more about the lab, when you go to the lab page and you see the lab members information, you can still email them and ask them about the lab, the information you want to know, and that will help you in making your decision as well. I hope you'll be able to get some information to help you. So after you have found the lab that you would want to apply to, you are going to find the email. Most times there is an email to which you are required to send your application. And this is a good thing about it. Most times the first step is contacting the professor, and for this you most times just need to send an email. In the email, you need to clarify like why you are emailing the professor, of course, because professors are busy, and if you are kind of vague about what you are applying for, you may not get a response. So you need to be clear that you are applying for a position in their lab. Introduce yourself, where you're coming from, and your background, your academic interests, things like that. You talk about yourself and also explain why you are interested in joining the lab. And this is where going through the lab page and all their works comes in handy, because now you know like what you can say you are going to contribute to the lab. So in that way the professor can gauge if you will be like a good addition to their team or not. And also most times you'll be asked for a CV and your transcripts. Even if they don't ask for them, like in the email, just include them, like just give them everything so that they can just choose for themselves which information they want or not. So you can include your transcripts, graduation certificate, your language certificate for English. Most times that's required, it's very important. So you're just showing them that this is what I've studied, this is what I've done so far. If you have any internships or you've worked on some projects, even if it's not like real work in a company, but you've like worked on some projects, like let's say you've just gotten out of school but you haven't gotten real hands-on work experience from a company, you can still include that in your CV and let them know that these are projects that I have worked on and these are the skills that I have been able to build while working on these projects. And yeah, you just include all your documents as attachments to the email so that the professor just gets to know everything about you in one email, and then you send it. So in this email is where you ask if the professor is able to support your tuition and living expenses, or what kind of opportunities they have for their research students. So sometimes if the professor isn't able to give you like tuition, they'll be able to let you know so that you make a decision. So you have to ask in the email, not to just assume. So if the information is not anywhere, like on the website, that they're giving you full tuition and stipend, blah, 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 you need to confirm, like in the email, ask which kind of support they are giving so that you are sure. Sometimes the professors are recruiting students, but they don't actually have money to give you. So in that way, if you ask if they have funding opportunities in their lab, they'll be able to let you know that they're not able to pay you, but they can give you a position in their lab. So that means you have to take care of everything yourself. So you have to be sure of what the lab offers before you accept to be a part of it. Let's say a professor, you've emailed the professor and they say they are hiring and they are able to take you on. They'll be able to pay you money. You have found out like how much you'll be getting, or what they are actually supporting tuition or just stipend, like you've gotten the exact information about their support. You will go on to applying to the university, but this is most times easy or just a formality because you have already been accepted to the lab, and that's what's most important, because sometimes you may apply to a school and if the lab does not take you, then you're not going to get admitted, because who are you going to work with? So it's very important that you contact a professor before. This is actually also important for like JKS, or when you're just applying for, if you are going to be like a researcher, it's very important to contact a professor first so that they know you, and if you are getting admitted, they are already familiar to you, they have some information about you, like you're not a stranger. Because if they don't really know who you are and you apply, they'll just not take you, and then that automatically means the university is not going to admit you. But so in this case, if we are assuming that the professor has accepted you into their lab, you need to go on with the application process. It's most times easy, they will guide you, and then you'll be able to come to Korea. Yeah, it is really something to consider. And I think it's one of the easiest ways to come to Korea. It is competitive and it needs you to do a lot of research. But so if you are considering applying for this scholarship, let's go through some tips that will help you during your process. First tip is for you to email or contact different professors and different universities, because this will increase your chances of getting admitted into a lab. Like, just send your emails to different professors, do your research, and find different schools, different labs. If you find different labs that are doing research in areas that you know or familiar to, it's okay for you to apply. And yeah, just increase your chances of getting admitted and getting a place, so that if one doesn't go through, you can still hope on another going through. Also, the other tip is for you to personalize each email to each research lab or each professor's research area. Do not use the same email for every professor, because they're not doing the same things. So you have to tailor each one of them to what the lab is doing, whatever the research area is, so that it stands out and it's not just showing that you don't know what you're talking about. You need to show that you're interested in that lab work, remember, because it's like applying for a job. So you need to know, or you need to be familiar with what they're doing. And that's why you need to tailor each email to each specific lab's research area. Don't forget that. Don't use the same email for everything. And then if you email a professor and they don't respond, but you really, really want to join their lab, it's okay to email them again and again. And if they don't respond, you can contact one of the students to confirm if they are hiring or not. If you don't hear from any of them, most times it's like just a sign for you to move on. So just go on to another school. So sometimes not all professors will respond. So that's why you need more choices. Like, you need more than one choice. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Contact different professors so that you have options. Very important. And also, LinkedIn is a very good place for you to know like where people are studying. So when you go to LinkedIn and you follow people that are, let's say, studying in Korea, you are able to see what they're doing, which universities they're studying. They may tag their professors in their like research work. That way you are able to connect. You can connect with the students, like talk to them, get to know how their school is doing stuff. And yeah, in that way you get information about the school in one way or the other. And such work you may do, it's just better for exploring opportunities. So yeah, try LinkedIn out. Very good place. So I hope this video has given you a good understanding about this kind of scholarship. It's not very common. We don't talk about it a lot, but it is available and you can use it. Unfortunately, it's mostly for science and engineering fields, and that's what I'm in, so that's what I mostly know about. And it's mostly available for graduate programs, master's or PhD, because they are hiring you for your skills. If you are an undergraduate, you don't really have any skills yet, you need to build them. So for this one, they are mainly hiring you because of your skills, what you can offer. And I've seen some schools that have only science and engineering fields, but also have business as one of the courses they offer. So you can always like just look around, explore the opportunities, and see if you find a professor that's recruiting for business, then why not contact them and see if they are hiring. Yeah, I hope this video was valuable. I hope it was helpful to you guys. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with somebody that you think may need it. Don't get kept. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.